Conference play kicks off tonight at historic Memorial Field as the State College High School Little Lions take on the Carlisle Thundering Herd. John Gross alongside Cooper Deck. Coop, these two teams coming in 3-0 through non-conference play, and both teams pretty much rolling through their first 3 games.
Definitely, it's a big game for both of them, both undefeated. Like you said, a huge tilt heading into this contest. A lot of at stake is here, not only in the league, but in Pennsylvania as a whole as well.
Taking a look at State College, a very successful season last year. Again, the 3-0 start to this year. Who were some key players for the Little Lions?
It's really the 1-2 punch with Tommy Freiberg and Isaiah Edwards. It's really pick your poison. That's what it comes down to. Tommy can run and pass the ball, and then Isaiah Edwards, a big 6-foot, 200-pound running back that can just run over people or make you miss. So a really tough team, not only up front on the line, but also in the backfield as well.
How about for the visiting Thundering Herd? A team underdogs may be coming in, but they certainly have some guys that can get them going.
Definitely. Cole Walliver and Ben Nix are the two guys that you're going to have to watch out for. Both two seniors, quarterback and running back respectively. They're going to be the facilitators of this entire team tonight. So those are the guys to watch out. But the Thundering Herd have a lot to prove here. State College is the favorite coming in, so that could play to their advantage if they make the most of it. Obviously, they're coming in on a lot of momentum, but they got to make the most of it coming out of this game.
Kickoff just minutes away. Stick with us. State College versus Carlisle right here on CNET.
Cool.
Good job.
I thought that was what was happening, and I was like, I didn't know what to do. That's the athletic director in the gray right there. Yeah,
I'll try to talk with him later. And welcome back into Memorial Field. State College wins the coin toss and they elect to receive. Again, John Gross alongside Cooper Deck. 3-0 State College, 3-0 Carlisle in the conference opener for both of these two squads.
State College did win the coin toss. They elected to receive, and I like that approach early on. Second game at home of the year, and why not get it and score, and that's exactly what they did. Cohen Russell back deep to return, and he's one of the players that this Carlisle team is really going to have to hone in on. If you let him get any open field in front of him, it's pretty much out into a foot race. So he's a really dangerous player, both on the receiving end, running end, and returning kicks.
Does it all offensively. As Caleb Richwine sets the ball down on the tee to start things off. Last time these two teams met last season, a 70-14 State College victory. Carlisle kicking off in white jerseys, State College maroon jerseys, gray pants. Solid crowd here at Memorial Fields.
Great crowd.
And we are underway. Opening touchback. They'll bring out the State College offense, and they're led by a pretty solid quarterback, to say the least.
Definitely. Tommy Freiberg already has an offer from Columbia. A lot of other schools are showing interest in him at this point. They're just waiting to see how his senior year washes out. So this guy really has some talent, and what helps him the most is he has a great offensive line, and then a D1 commit in Keeton Ellis in the slot, Cohen Russell and Isaiah Edwards running the ball. So not only is he a very talented player, he's surrounded with a wealth of talent as well.
Freiberg lines up in the shotgun.
I give credit to the kicker for Carlisle. That was a booming kick. Went halfway through the end zone to start off the game, and that's the way to set the tone. Great field position to start off for Carlisle, and now we have a timeout from State College.
I don't think I've ever seen that, Cooper. A timeout before the first offensive play of the game.
Yeah, that's definitely, you usually have that one, you know what you're running usually when you're going out. Before the game even starts, you know what that first play is going to be. Apparently there was a miscommunication there. Freiberg went to the line, was trying to talk to his wideouts, and it seemed like something wasn't registering. So Coach Matt Linthal is just going to get in, talk it over, and hopefully they can make sure everyone's on the same page.
Now, a lot of times the opening drive in general will be scripted.
Exactly.
With a week-long practice.
And why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen. You're prepared. And the more prepared you can be, obviously, the better. But State College coming out a little bit flat. Usually it's the other way around. At least last year, every game that I was at, State College came out and immediately, within 2 or 3 minutes, had one, if not two, touchdowns on the board already.
So see what the Little Lions offense has after the timeout prior to the opening play. Cohen Russell on the reception down the sideline. And he makes his way upfield, up to the 31 for a first down, gain of 11.
I did travel with the State College team to St. Augustine, and Cohen Russell was my MVP for that game. He had 2 touchdowns, a lot of yards as well. This guy especially has some breakaway speed.
Up-tempo offense for State High. Running that same screen. And Russell showing some shiftiness, but not able to elude the tackle around the line of scrimmage. Pickup of a yard, second down and 9.
Number 32 for Carlisle in on the tackle. That was Cam Green. But one thing, going back to Russell, one thing that he loves to do is reverse field and try to go from the near side to the far side. That's exactly what it did there. Sometimes it pays off, but sometimes it hurts you, and that's exactly what happened on the first down play.
James Pone currently down on the turf for State College. The starting left tackle for the Little Lions, a returning starter, a big piece of the State High offense.
And injuries are huge, especially in football, such a physical sport. He's down right now. Titus Thompson, also a captain, a senior leader for this team, will not be dressed tonight. Robbie Kressler as well is out for State College, so injuries will definitely play a role. We saw Cole Urbis out in week 1 due to an injury, but he's back now, so it's really hit or miss. Injuries can really affect your team. Hopefully he's going to get up and be okay.
And Shane Cole jogged into the huddle as soon as Cone went down. Man, we hope he's okay as he starts to make his way up. So after the injury to State College, starting left tackle, they have a 2nd down and 9, 11:40 to go in the opening quarter between State College and Carlisle, a couple 3-0 squads in the conference opener. First 2 plays offensively, screen passes to Cohen Russell. First one went for about 11.5, second one only for a yard.
And just looking at this State College line up front, they're all absolutely huge. It's going to be hard for this Carlisle defensive line to get back there, but if they're able to put pressure on Tommy Freiberger, it really takes a lot of options away for this Little Lions offense.
Russell in motion. Give to Green up the gut. Bounces off a couple, makes his way up to the 37, setting up a 3rd down and manageable. And Green, a guy who Coach Lintel, we had a chance to chat with him earlier this week, keyed on and said he's somebody who stepped up and kind of surprised him this season, made a couple big plays last week.
And we saw him last year in special teams. He was used a lot and made some noise. Only a sophomore, so he is very young. He's kind of the backup to Isaiah Edwards, so he has a key role. When Edwards gets tired, he can come in and get the job done. 3rd and 6,
Lions to the air. Freiberg will tuck it and run. And he stiff arms his way for a State College 1st down, showing off the athleticism at 6'5". He's still able to move.
Oh, definitely, and that's one of the biggest things the teams have to account for. Freiberg, a very accurate passer, but he can also step up when the pocket collapses. Exactly what he did right there. And the biggest thing with him is he can make defenders miss. Right there was a great example of that.
Needed 6, picked up just over 6. Setting up a 1st down, second 1st down of this drive for the Lions. Play fake. Over the middle, and Russell had it and dropped it. 2nd and 10.
They love running that play, a little slant route, Russell going right over the middle. And usually if they're able to lead him perfectly and he's able to bring it in, it's 6, because that's how the kind of breakaway speed that he has. They scored on that play against St. Augustine, but right there was just a little too much in front of Russell for him to bring it in.
2nd and 10 from the Lions' own 42, 10:50 to go here in the opening quarter of play. You mentioned the explosiveness of Russell coming into this one on the season. 5 receptions, 263 yards. That averages to 52.6 yards per reception. Unbelievable numbers as Green gets it around the edge with Green in front. Dresden Green makes his way into Thundering Herd territory to move the chains.
And we haven't seen Isaiah Edwards yet, but Drazen Green's been doing a great job. He was on special teams and now a great run. Got into open field, cut it back in between the hash to pick up a 1st down for the State College team who's cruising in the 1st drive of the game.
A chunk play for State High. That's, we'll be saying that quite a bit tonight. An offense that averages about 19 yards per completion, 8 yards per rush. Freiberg throwing deep on 1st and 10. And Keeton Ellis into the end zone for a touchdown.
Looked like the cornerback lost his footing. He was guarding Ellis, and after that it was one-on-one coverage, man-to-man, and Ellis was wide open. All he had to do was catch it, take a few steps, and he was in the end zone. So we'll see if there's a flag on the play. I was wondering if there was going to be.
There was contact along the boundary. And the touchdown will be coming back. Offensive pass interference against Keeton Ellis. Would have been a 42-yard touchdown pass, but instead will back things up.
Would have been Ellis's 4th touchdown of the year, but that one's going to get called back. Isaiah Edwards leads the team with 5 total. Cohen Russell has 3. Tommy Freiberg and Drazen Green also have 2 apiece.
1st and 25 after the 15-yard offensive pass interference penalty. And Keeton Ellis, the Penn State commitment, a 3-star recruit, projects to be a defensive back at the next level. Russell in motion, gets the toss. And he is cut down. Good tackle near the line.
A great tackle there in on it, number 32, Cam Green. Again, that's the second time we've called his name tonight. Out in open field, that's textbook tackling right there. For there any young fans in the house tonight, that is how you should tackle. A great play in open field by Green.
Green's second tackle to drive had a 70-yard scoop and score earlier this season. A playmaker in this front seven for the Thundering Herd. 2nd and 27. Ellis reaching back, has it at the 45, now across midfield. Keeton Ellis shaking his way towards the first down marker.
What a run there. What a throw by Tommy Freiberg as well. He was facing a lot of pressure, waiting for the play to develop, and he hit Ellis. The throw was behind him, but Ellis was able to handle it and make some men miss, and that is what D1 speed looks like right there. Ellis, a talented player, both on the offensive and defensive end.
3rd down and 10 as the 17-yard pickup gets the Lions back to their original yard mark before the offensive pass interference. Cohen Russell inside the 35. We'll set up a 4th down and short. You have to imagine from here the Lions probably will go for it.
Owen Hacker in on the tackle there amongst many other Thundering Herd defenders, but I'd be with you. I agree with you on that, John. Definitely you're in Carlisle territory. 4th and about 2 here. Definitely the right call by head coach Matt Linthal to go for it.
8:40 to go in the first quarter. Still scoreless between State High and Carlisle. A 4th down and 3 for the Little Lions offense. Green lines up next to Freiberg. Ellis, Russell, and Dorner in at receiver. And State High didn't get the snap off in time. Another timeout taken by the Little Lions, their second of this opening drive.
And that's huge. 2 timeouts burned already in the opening drive of the game. Only a couple minutes into, roughly 4 minutes into the first quarter, and that's inexcusable. It's just miscommunication. You got to be on top of it. I get there's audibles that have to be called, adjustments at the line, and that's exactly what Freiberg was trying to do there. But especially on a play 4th and short, you got to get that play off, and the last thing you want is to push it back and make it even less manageable.
All right, got a 4th down and 2 from the 34 of Carlisle right now. You have a solid running back in Green who's been able to maneuver his way through the defense, a couple of carries, and then very talented receivers as well. What are you doing if you're Coach Lintel in the State High offense?
I say you just put your faith in that offensive line and give it to your running back. Something's got to give there. Hole has to open up, and Green's been doing very well tonight so far, even though it's been early on in the game. But you got to put trust in those big guys working hard up front as they have been all night.
James Pone checks back in at left tackle, was injured earlier on this drive. 4th and 2, 8:21 to go in the first quarter. And a jump. We'll see if it was offsides or a false start. That'll be a first down for the Lions. 5 yards, 5 free yards at that on the offsides.
And the Carlisle Thundering Herd came out really, really pumped, and I credit it to that. But there's got to be a controlled aggressiveness here with Carlisle. Right there was an example of them just being too amped up and trying to get after it.
Ellis in motion, gets the handoff. And he's bodied out of bounds inside the 20. Lions in the red zone for the first time tonight.
State College has been trying to spread the field all night. They run that spread offense, but we've seen the motion with wide receivers coming over, whether it be Russell or Ellis, and every time they've run it, they've been very successful. This Carlisle team is really struggling to stop this high-octane offense.
15 yards of the run by Keeton Ellis. 1st and 10, 8:12 to go in the first quarter. Up top, Freiberg lined up at receiver. Knocked away, incomplete. Jamari Brown in coverage for the Thundering Herd. As Jaden Sider came in. And he'll head back out to the sideline.
Sider's used in many different scenarios. Very similar role as Brady Turner last year. He can play quarterback, but he also can play in the slot as well.
2nd and 10, 8:08 to go in the first. Freiberg back in the shotgun. Green around the edge. Blockers in front. Flag thrown. Green brought down around the 5, but there is a flag on the play. And it's holding against the Little Lions. Second costly penalty of this drive for State High.
And one of the biggest takeaways, at least from the St. Augustine game that I was at, is the penalties. There were so many penalties called that drew back State College, and it kept the game close. There's already been a few big ones, the one that brought the touchdown back earlier with Keeton Ellis, and now this one as well. Something that they really have to work on. That's something as a coach you hate to see, because they're always very, very preventable.
2nd and 15, now back to the 19-yard line here in the opening quarter. Freiberg to throw. Steps up, and he is dragged down. Not much of the run, setting up a 3rd down and long for State High.
Owen Hacker in on the stop there. Freiberg dropped back. He didn't really see anyone that was open. Tried to run it like he usually does very successfully, but he was met by a swarm of Carlisle defenders.
3rd down and 10. Lions looking to keep this opening drive going, which has seen them use 2 timeouts. Also, draw 2 costly penalties. Quick throw, Ellis, touchdown, Little Lions, 6-0. 7:11 to go in the first. A 14-yard strike.
And keep it simple, Keeton Ellis, a little slant route, caught the cornerback sleeping. That's pretty much all you got to do there. Put your most talented players in big situations, and they come through. A great throw by Freiberg, great reception by Ellis. All he really had to do was take 1 step into the end zone. So he did score. It was called back with a penalty, but he made up for it with that touchdown right there.
Cam Renfro on for the extra point. It's 11 for 14 of the season. Sider to hold. And State High takes a 7-0 lead over the Carlisle Thundering Herd. There were maybe not a perfect drive for the Little Lions, but they cap it off with a touchdown. It's the best thing you could do on the opening drive.
Exactly. A lot of trouble early on. Penalties, mistakes, miscommunication. They burned a few timeouts, but the end result is still the same, and that's all that matters for State College. They punch one in. And one of the biggest weapons that I think a lot of people overlook about this State College team is Cam Renfro. He's 11 for 14, or now 12 for 15 on extra point attempts. A great kicker kicking off, and he has some pretty decent, he can move it back if he wants to. I've seen him knock it in from 30, 35 yards. That's an option that a lot of high school programs at this level do not have. State College has that.
14-yard touchdown pass from Drew Freiberg to Keeton Ellis, the 6th touchdown toss of the season from Freiberg. And we saw the balance of the offense for State High. They average 207 passing yards per game, and just under 200 rushing yards a game. That balance is not easy for an opponent to stop. Carlisle, however, did a decent job of that, getting to State High to 3rd down and long situations. It's
really controlling the damage with State College. If you can hold on to the game into the 3rd, 4th quarter, they're going to start thinking about it a little bit more. But what State College does is they come out ready to go, and they bury you into the ground early on. And by the time the 2nd, 3rd quarter comes around, it's already too late. So the longer Carlisle can stay in this game, the better it is for them.
Curtis Ravenel back deep to receive for the Thundering Herd. He was the cornerback pushed down to the Keeton Ellis offensive pass interference. And a touchback to start things off for Carlisle, which will bring out the starting quarterback for the visitors, Cole Walliver. A similar offense as State High runs the spread formation. We'll see if the Thundering Herd are able to respond. A couple undefeated teams here at Memorial Fields.
And this drive is absolutely crucial. If you come out with a 3-and-out, it's really going to halt the momentum, really switch the momentum into State College's direction. You got to put together a good drive here.
Starting off with the option, an inside give goes nowhere. 2nd down and 10.
Ben Nix on the run. He's going to be the main guy with the ball tonight in the backfield. But a great stop there by State College, who, like I said, is not with one of their best defensive linemen in Titus Thompson. He's the leader up front there. He's a captain as well. They're going to have to make do without him.
Walliver last week had a rushing and passing touchdown. So he lines up in the shotgun, 3 receivers set. Run by Tristan Sulich, gets a couple, 3rd down at about 8 after the 2-yard run.
Michael Maniak in on the tackle. he was in there right away and then was met by a swarm of State College defenders. And one of the best things about this State College defense, one of their strengths is even if it's man-to-man coverage, even if there's one guy trying to bring down the runner, they are soon met, the opponent, with a lot more defenders. The pursuit to the runner or whoever has the ball is just unparalleled for the State College team.
Under 6 minutes to go in this first quarter, and a whistle. Timeout taken by Carlisle. So we saw the Lions on their opening drive use 2 timeouts. Carlisle here taking their first on a crucial 3rd down and 8, and I say crucial just because State High's offense has been so explosive this season. You don't want to get behind by 2 scores against the Lions.
Exactly. The last thing you want to do is have State College score and then have a 3 and out. That would be detrimental at this point. And we saw State College block a good amount of punts last year. So that's something that you always got to keep in mind. Special teams is a strong suit for this little Lions team.
And for the Thundering Herd, their strong suit, their offensive line returning 3 starters from last season. A couple 3-year starters and a 2-year starter as well.
One thing to note is this place is packed right now. Memorial Field, beautiful night. There is a little bit of a drizzle coming down. It is humid, but it is packed here. The Carlisle side and the State College side as well.
They're down at 8. And the Thundering Herd own 22. Walliver to throw for the first time tonight up top. And Keeton Ellis takes it away. Interception.
Pass intended for number 32, Cam Green, both on the offensive and defensive side. He's had his name called, but that was really an ill-advised throw. It seemed like the quarterback and Walliver just threw it up there for grabs, and there was no receiver in the general area, and Ellis was able to come down with a great play.
Now we'll see this Lions offense, which scored in a 14-yard touchdown pass from Freiberg to Ellis on their opening drive. Look to go up by 2 scores. They have it with fortuitous field position at the Carlisle 47, 5:50 to go, 7-0 Little Lions here from Memorial Fields. Green remains in the game at running back. And on the reverse, throw to Russell, spins at a 1, out of bounds.
Little chicanery in the offense there, a reverse pass. And in the backfield, he was met with a few Carlisle defenders, but he was able to stay composed, get some space for him to throw, and made a very good pass. That was a pass that was made to look easy, even though it was very difficult.
And you mentioned Brady Turner earlier in the broadcast, the guy that played a little quarterback last season, now out at wide receiver on the 9-yard completion to Russell, 2nd and a yard. Clock stop 5:42, 7-0 Lions. Freiberg again looking for Ellis. Diving! Incomplete. Almost a highlight reel grab for Keeton Ellis.
That would have been an amazing catch. It looked like he had it until about halfway down, but the ground made him lose control of it. And Ellis is just an athlete. That's what it comes down to. He's able to play any position nearly on the field. We saw him make a great play in the interception last drive to get State College to where they are now. And he's also a great option to have in the slot as well.
Jaden Sider now checks in at wide receiver. We saw him in at quarterback, attempted a pass to Tommy Freiberg. 3rd down and 1. Play clock down to 6. Now down to 3. Freiberg keeps himself on the option play, moves the chains and more. Up to the 31, gain of 7 on the carry.
We see State College use that read option a lot in short yard scenarios. If they need to pick up 3 to 4 yards, they usually go with that because they have a running back in Green or Edwards who is very good, very physical. But you also have Tommy Freiberg who can make some guys miss as well.
Van Nix on the tackle, preventing Freiberg from getting any further downfield. 1st and 10. Clock at 5 minutes. Green of the toss.
Oh.
Lowering the shoulder and fights for a few more to the 24.
Amir Brown was in on the tackle, but give Dracian Green some credit. He's not the biggest guy. He's a running back, but he just tried to run over a defensive lineman. I love that approach, going out, not holding anything back, and it clearly paid off as it's now 2nd and short for the Little Lions.
Yeah, Justice Mosley there as well. The immediate contact at linebacker for the Thundering Herd. Second down and a yard after the 9-yard run. Freiberg to the air. Moves the chains and a fumble. Ball's loose on the turf. Scooped up by the Thundering Herd. And it's Green on the recovery.
What a play there by Cam Green. A good throw by Tommy Freiberg, but coming down with it. One of the tight ends for this team. I couldn't get a number.
Jeremy Bullock with the fumble.
Jeremy Bullock. And it looked like he turned around and was met by Green. Green picks it up and runs. And now how about that for an answer for this Carlisle team? Not a great drive in their first drive of the game, but they bounce back with a big play on the defensive end.
Cam Green, a couple big tackles on that opening drive defensively, then follows it up with a fumble recovery. And the Thundering Herd have it at their own 45. 4:13 to go in the first. Toss back to Solich. Gets him a yard and a half. Second down at about 9.
Kyle D'Amico in on the tackle, along with many other State College Little Lions. He has now 15 tackles on the year. He's in the top 4 for that category. One of the leaders for the State College team.
Thundering Herd got into a third down and long on their first drive. Ended up being an intercepted pass by Keeton Ellis. Look to play ahead of the chains on this drive. An inside give. And room to scoot. Touchdown, Thundering Herd. Tristan Solich.
Solich has found a hole right in the middle. Get it to the offensive line for opening it up for him. And after that, it was just a foot race to the pylon. Just like that, Carlisle strikes back, and they have a chance to even this game at 7 with just under 3.5 to go here in the first quarter.
Caleb Richwine on to tie things up after the 54-yard run. And we are level at 7, 3:28 to go here in the opening quarter between State College and Carlisle. We'll take a quick break here. Stick with us. You're watching St. High football on CNET. And welcome back into Memorial Field. State High versus Carlisle. John Gross alongside Cooper Deck. A 54-yard run by Tristan Solich. And the extra point ties things up with 3:28 to go in the opening quarter. And Solich just found the hole and exploded all the way to the end zone.
And they say football's a game of momentum. That progression there was a great example of it. A turnover, a fumble recovery by Carlisle, and then 2 plays later, a touchdown, and now the score is even when State College held all the momentum early on in this contest.
Russell will let it bounce to the end zone. Now Solich a couple weeks ago had a 58-yard touchdown run. This one from 54. Has had some big runs this season. Now State High will look to respond. Lions got pretty far into the Carlisle side of the field in their last drive before a fumble by Jeremy Bullock, recovered by Cam Green, and then 2 plays later, touchdown to the board for the visitors.
And Cam Green's playing both ways tonight for this Carlisle team, offensively and defensively. Give credit to him. That's a very difficult thing to do, to be in that kind of shape, but he's making it a very big impact at both ends as well.
Tied at 7. Freiberg in the shotgun. Option up the middle. Makes his way across the 25. Brought down by Owen Hacker.
The big guys on defense for Carlisle. Hacker along with Green, those are really the leaders for this team, one of which is a captain. State College now has to respond here. You can't go 3 and out. Even if you don't score, you got to move the ball, take some time off the clock.
Under 3 minutes in this first. Freiburg check to the sideline. 7 seconds to snap it. Now under 5. They'll throw it 2nd and 4. Freiburg, room to run. And he's taken out. First down to the 40, pickup of 14 yards.
Braden Keller, the 5'11 sophomore, in on the tackle there in open field. And Freiburg's a tough guy to take down because he's so big, 6'5", a large frame, and that's what makes him successful when he drops back in the pocket to throw. He can see over the entire line, but like we've been saying all day, he can run too.
And he's had time to throw the ball. He's just had plenty of lanes to run through. 1st and 10, Lions to their own 40. Green remains in the game at running back. Russell gets the handoff in motion, breaks 1 tackle. And dragged down to the backfield. Good stop, Dylan White, a 3-year starter, both at offensive line, now at linebacker. Thinks it's 2nd down at about 13.
There was a great block on that play by Jeremy Bullock. Cohen Russell probably would have been brought down for even a larger loss on that play if it were not for the block from the tight end. So give credit to him. These guys are working hard up front, but the secondary for Carlisle is really making it difficult for Tommy Freiburg to find anyone.
2nd and 15 for the Lions. Tie game. 1:30 to go in the first. Freiburg pressured over the middle, and Ellis ends up with it on the other end. Foot race to the finish line. Keeton Ellis put that one on SportsCenter. Touchdown, Little Lions.
That may be one of the craziest plays that I've ever seen. Thought it was going to be an interception right off the deflection, but Ellis comes up with it, and once he gets an open field, it's a foot race. It's over. Usually he wins that one, and he did right there. So 2 touchdowns on the night for Ellis, and State College strikes back.
63 yards on the deflected pass from Freiburg. Ends up in the hands of Keeton Ellis. Turns on the Jets and puts State High up 13-7 with 1:23 to go in the first. And Ellis, as we mentioned before, committed to Penn State. He's showing why, not only with the speed that he showed on that play, but the presence of mind to turn around, know where the football is, make the catch, and then find the open space.
Yeah, something that people don't notice is he didn't even know that, he couldn't even see that there was no one on the near side of the field towards his back, but right when he caught it, he had the awareness to turn around and make a break to the pylon. And he just has that breakaway speed, man. You know that D1, you know a D1 player when you see him, and Keeton Ellis is exactly that.
Unlucky break for Carlisle. They got their hand to the ball of Freiburg. 6'5" quarterback, not easy to do so.
You got to be happy with where you're at right now if you're Carlisle. You're the underdog coming into this one. At first, State College was dominating. They marched down once. They were marching down again. Then a big turnover, capitalized on it by Carlisle. They score. And they were playing good defense, but just a bad bounce, unlucky break for them allows State College to get back on the board.
Hurd with a chance to respond. A minute 23 to go in the first. Ravenel again back deep to receive. A 5'8" senior. Plays both wide receiver and defensive back, and as we see here, back deep to receive the kickoff. We'll see our first return of the game. Ravenel Fields. Looking for space, tripped up just across the 20. And Carlisle will set up shop at their own 22-yard line. We saw them march downfield. A big run by Tristan Sulich. And to look to follow that up, a chance to tie once again.
One of the things that State College loves to do is do a little pooch kick on where the receiving team, there really isn't any players there. It's about a 30-yard kick. I've seen them do it every game that I've broadcast, so that's something that Carlisle's going to have to keep in the back of their head going forward.
Walliver goes under center. They go to Sulich to the 24. Pickup of a couple. 2nd down and 8.
This has been a very, very slow first quarter. We've had turnovers, whatever it may be. This is really dragged on, and give credit to Carlisle for that. The longer they're able to stay in this game, like I said, the better it is for them.
Focusing at running the football early on. And Walliver keeps himself towards the Thundering Herd sideline. Be a little bit short of the first down marker.
Sammy Knipe in on the tackle again. He's all over the place tonight, and there comes a point where some of the underclassmen are going to have to step up when you have a senior leader like Titus Thompson out. And hopefully we see that tonight from this State College team, because he's an integral part to the Little Lions defense.
And the run from Walliver does move the chains to a first down. And an injured Little Lion on the field. 29 seconds to go here in the first. 14-7. State High on top of Carlisle. Stick with us. Sam Knipe, sophomore defensive back, making his way off the field for the Little Lions. The 10-yard run from Walliver makes it first down and 10 for Carlisle. Trailing by 7, 29 seconds to go in this opening quarter. Sulich rumbling ahead, not much. Met by a host of Little Lion defenders. 2nd down and long.
Kyle D'Amico in on the tackle. He's been all over the place tonight. Right now it's just damage control for State College. You want to just keep doing what you're doing and stop Carlisle and get back into the flow of your offense.
That'll take us to the end of the first quarter of play. State High leading 14-7 over the Carlisle Thundering Herd. Take a quick break here. You're watching State High football on CNET.
I can barely see. So yeah, I can't really
And welcome back into Memorial Field. The Lions a 14-7 lead on a couple of Keeton Ellis touchdown catches. And for the Thundering Herd to have a 2nd down and 8. It's a 54-yard score by Tristan Sulich. His 2nd touchdown run of 50+ on the season. Sulich again with some room. A bruising back, but we did see him show off the wheels on that big touchdown run.
Biggest play of the game for Carlisle, and right there we saw the option. That's what they've been running all night. They have a guy going up the middle, and then the option going towards the far near side coming off of that. So you have a lot of options there, and it's been working pretty well tonight for the Thundering Herd.
3rd and a yard. Walliver under center. Again to Solich. He's carrying multiple state high defenders. Picks up the first down across the 45.
Solich is a big guy, 6'1", 185. One of the biggest players on the field, so he's very physical, but he's also got that breakaway speed as well.
Last season for the Thundering Herd, his sophomore year, 136 carries, 667 yards, and 9 touchdowns. It's a Carlisle offense looking to replace their do-it-all star in Gavin Barnes from last year. Played a bit of everything, quarterback, receiver, running back on offense. Bravenel in motion. Walliver bottled up at the line of scrimmage.
Walliver tried to, after he saw nothing was there, there wasn't a hole, he tried to reverse his step and go towards the far side of the field. He was met with a swarm of State College defenders, led by number 94, Warren Yakic, the 5'10", 164.
Herd trails it by a touchdown. 10:30 to go in this first half. Clock ticking. A 2nd down and 10. Walliver to throw, and it's incomplete. Through the hands of Dane Grays. 3rd down and 10.
Big play here for both teams. You got to stop them if you're the Little Lions. This is a huge play. Can't be understated. Definitely. Carlisle's been moving the ball pretty well since that turnover. It seems like that play, that touchdown, has really gotten into the head of the State College defensive unit. But if you're able to get a stop here, punt it away, and let your offense do what they have been doing all night, that's what you got to ask from your defense right now.
3rd and 10 for the Thundering Herd. Last time they were in this situation, was intercepted by Keeton Ellis. Hart looking to do a little bit better on this attempt. Walliver in the shotgun, Solich to his right. 3rd and 10. This time caught by Grays, and he shoved out of bounds around midfield. 4th down and medium, as the punting unit will come out for the visitors.
Good coverage by the State College defense. Good pursuit as well. One player had him wrapped up. About 3 or 4 were on their way shortly thereafter. And now it's 4th and long. 4th and medium, as you said, John, for this Carlisle team. State College now has a chance to get back into it with the ball.
Owen Hacker to punt. Cohen Russell deep to receive. And the kick is blocked. Lions fall on it. And State High special teams, which is an area that Coach Lintel really wanted to focus on this past week. Strong start to this one.
Kyle D'Amico was the guy in there on the blocked punt, but there were 3 other Little Lions defenders also right in the general area. There was a lot of stuff going on right there around the punter, but D'Amico's able to get a hand on it, and now you have great field position in comparison to probably deep back in your own territory. So that's a huge break for State College. We'll see if they're able to capitalize on it right now.
34 yards away from the end zone, already leading it by a touchdown. 9:30 to go in the first half. Play fake. Freiberg up top for Ellis. Touchdown number 3 for number 3 in the first half.
This guy's something special, let me tell you. He's made great catch after great catch. 3 touchdowns already, and we're not even to halftime yet. A very athletic play, and also give credit to Tommy Freiberg. That was not an easy throw to make. He had to put it in the perfect spot, and that's exactly what he did. Great connection. Freiberg to Ellis for the 3rd time tonight.
Keeton Ellis, 3 touchdown catches, an interception, and we still have 9:22 to go in the first half. James Franklin is getting a good one up the road at Penn State. 21-7. State College leads it after the 34-yard touchdown pass from Freiburg to Keeton Ellis here at Memorial Fields. We'll take a quick break. This is State High football on CNET. Keeton Ellis hauls in his third touchdown grab of this first half. Still 9:22 remaining in the second quarter. And now the Thundering Herd have their work cut out for them, down by 14 points. Still plenty of time, though, to mount a comeback.
And everything that's happened in this game has been a capitalization off of a mistake the other team has made. You had a turnover from State College, Carlisle scored, and then you had the example that just happened right there.
And they'll do the short kick that you mentioned. It's fielded and held onto cleanly by Ben Hughes. Good hands as he took a shot.
That was a huge shot. Thomas Bucha in on the play. He's a huge contributor on the defensive end. He has 16 tackles total on the year, but great composure there by Carlisle to able to bring it, and that's a very difficult play with a lot of players breathing right down your neck.
Good field position to start off for Carlisle. Their own 42. Lone score thus far was a 54-yard touchdown run by Tristan Solich, currently lined up in the backfield. Quick throw. Ravenel could not hang on. 2nd and 10.
Looked like somebody may have gotten a hand on that one. I don't know who it was. Someone up front for the State College defensive line. And that's what they're taught, obviously. Put your hands up when the pass is being thrown, and sometimes it pays off. Right there it did.
A couple 3-0 squads in their conference opener here at Memorial Field. State High and Carlisle. Carlisle's side went 5-5 last year, only 1-5 in conference. State High 10-3 in the season in 2017. And Solich trying to stiff arm his way forward, still dragging up to the 30-yard line.
Brought down by Thomas Bucha again in on the play. But he almost got by him as well. He broke a few tackles right up the middle. And give credit to this running back. He's been doing a great job all night, breaking tackles and making men miss.
28 yards on the rush by Solich. 1st and 10 to the State High 30. About 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Again, Solich up the gut. Gains around 4.
Solich only a junior as well, so he'll be back next year for this Carlisle team. He's been very, very impressive tonight. Accounted for the 1 touchdown, a 54-yard run. Was able to punch it in. So Carlisle now moving the ball at will. If I'm Coach Linthal here, you got to zero in on that running back in Solich. He's really the guy that's been making everything happen for the Thundering Herd.
Walliver under center, only has 1 completion on the night. They'll go to the air again. Up top, overshot Ravenel. 3rd down and 6 for Carlisle, and you figure down by 2 scores at the 26-yard line. If you don't convert here to be on a 43-yarder, you probably are game planning for a 4th down play if you don't get it here on 3rd.
Definitely, it's 4 down territory here, and Caleb Richwine, the kicker for this team, does have a leg behind him. He can kick it, but I think a 43-yarder would be a little bit too much at this point.
Yeah, Richwine does have an offer from Bucknell. 3rd and 6, 10 seconds to snap it for Carlisle. And the visitors will take a timeout. A huge play here for the Thundering Herd. They've struggled to throw the ball today. Only one completion for Cole Walliver.
It's all been the ground game.
Yeah.
That's what it's come down to. Where State College, it's really been in the air. 3 passing touchdowns or touchdown receptions from Keeton Ellis, the Penn State commit. On the other hand, you have the 1 touchdown from Carlisle on the ground from Sulich. So it's really been a tale of 2 different teams with 2 different strategies. Carlisle likes to spread the field, but not as much as State College does.
And Coach Lintel points to this State High secondary as one of their strongest units. An athletic and physical group on the back end of the State High defense does not make it easy for Walliver and any opposing quarterback to air the ball out against State High. They might have to here, though, on 3rd down and 6. 2 receivers set for Carlisle. 3rd and 6 from the State High 26. Herd trail by 14. Toss around the edge. And Nix is ripped down. 4th down. Run gets him inside the 25 to the 24.
This is a big play for State College. If they were able to stop them and get the ball, there's enough time here with 8:03 and counting for them to march down, get a good, productive, progressive drive in, and punch one in, and really maybe put this one out of reach heading into the second half.
And we will see Rich Wine on for the very long 41-yarder. Nix to hold. Kick is blocked. Scooped up by State College. No one in front. And who else but Keeton Ellis? His 4th touchdown. Unbelievable.
Wow, Keeton Ellis, 4th touchdown of the night. It wasn't blocked by him. I couldn't get a number on who that was, but he picked it up right after and ran it in for a touchdown. So State College has dominated the special teams today. A blocked punt, now a blocked field goal attempt, and they run it back for a touchdown. 27-7, State College leads.
3 touchdown grabs, 1 field goal block, returned for a touchdown, and an interception with 7:31 to go in the second quarter for Keeton Ellis.
I don't want to say it too early, but he's on pace for the best game of his entire career. This is just unprecedented right now.
28-7, State High leading Carlisle. Thundering Herd. And the long run from Solich had a solid drive there, and he sent down Rich Wine, who does have the leg to hit it from 41, just did not get the protection needed. And State High, a blocked punt in the second quarter. They're a blocked field goal, which ends up with a Keeton Ellis touchdown. And special teams, as the old saying goes, special teams can win or lose you the game.
It really does. Fans overlook it, coaching staffs overlook it, but this game is a prime example of that. They turned the blocked punt into a touchdown, and then a blocked kick immediately into a touchdown from Keeton Ellis. I mean, you got to be really, really good up front. You got to give your kicker time. Granted, it was a deep 41-yard field goal, but the last thing you want to do there is have it blocked and returned for a touchdown. That's exactly what happened, but give credit to the special teams unit and Keeton Ellis. He's just on an absolute tear right now.
Ellis committed to Penn State. A 3-star prospect. But he's showing tonight that he's one of, if not the best player in the state of Pennsylvania. Lions up 28-7, 7:31 to go in the second quarter. All 4 touchdowns have been scored by Keeton Ellis.
And he does plan on, from what I have been told, he does plan on graduating in the winter and then enrolling at Penn State to start training with this team and get acclimated so he's ready to go once his freshman season comes along.
Renfro on to kick. Last time on for a kickoff, he kept it short. And Hughes was able to field it as the up back and hold on to it. Gave Carlisle good field position. We'll see what State High does here. A packed house at Memorial Field, conference opener between State High and Carlisle. Ball bounces right to Ravenel across the 20. Gets out to the 25. And we'll see what the Carlisle offense can do. They've had a couple drives. The 54-yard touchdown run by Solich. Last drive, Solich had a 28-yard carry. They get down to the state-high 24. And then the blocked field goal returned by Keeton Ellis. Do you expect them to try to go to the air a little bit more, be a little bit more aggressive in their play calling, considering they're now down by 21?
Definitely. I mean, right now it's just been a story of Carlisle giving Solich the ball and say, hey, here you go, make something happen. But you can only hold on to that for so long. It's not very sustainable. You got to take some risks and throw the ball downfield.
Walliver is predominantly lined up under center. Here in the shotgun on the quick slant. Completed to Dane Grays across the 30 for pickup of 6. Second down and 4.
While Carlisle really hasn't passed the ball much tonight, even when they do, it's just a little quick slant route going over towards the middle of the field between the hashes. It's not like they're looking downfield much so far.
Under 7 minutes to go in this first half. Solich on the inside carry. Moves the chains. Another impressive run by Tristan Solich, who has carries of 54-28. And a solid chunk gain for about 8 yards in the run.
6:33 and counting here. There is enough time here for Carlisle to march down, but that's something that they're going to have to be cognizant of going forward in this drive.
Yeah, no point necessarily to rush, though. You don't want to give State High another chance if you do score. Solich once again lowers the shoulder, exploding through up to the 41-yard line. Kyle D'Amico on the tackle.
With Thompson out, D'Amico now has to step up as the facilitator of this defense. He's done a great job of doing so thus far. But right now, Carlisle, if they're able to put a progressive drive together and punch one in, even maybe get a field goal, you got to get something here because this game is slowly getting out of reach for them.
Second down and 7. Walliver back under center for the first time this drive. He'll keep it himself towards midfield. Up to the 46-yard line. Pick up a 5. Third down and 2.
Sammy Knipe in on the tackle there. The sophomore on this team, the only sophomore that has got consistent time in the secondary on the defense for the State College team.
Third and 2 gives Carlisle the option to run the ball. We'll see what they do. About 5 minutes to go. They'll keep it on the ground. Who else but Solich? Moves the chains.
Solich has gotten the job done every single time he's been asked to tonight, but at some point someone else is going to have to step up and start making plays, whether it be the quarterback in Walliver or one of the wideouts, Grays, whoever it is. Somebody's got to step up here because it's only going to be sustainable for so long.
4:48 to go, clock ticking. And the officials will call a timeout. And Solich might have some blood on his arm as he'll head over to the sideline. Well, that's the guy, if you're Carlisle, that you don't the sideline. He's been their go-to offensive star tonight. They do have a first down and 10. And Solich's replacement, Braden Keller, goes nowhere.
And on the tackle was number 30 for State College, Jeremy Thompson. Huge stop there. We've seen Carlisle move the ball at will when they're running on the ground. It's really the passing game that's been a question, but small loss on the play there for Carlisle. Good job by the State College defense.
Second down and 10, 4:12 remaining, clock moving. Thundering Herd trail by 21 here in the second. 4 touchdowns scored by Penn State commit Keeton Ellis, currently lined up at cornerback. Up the gut to Nix, following his blocker, still going. Across the 40 for a first down for the visitors.
And Nix just took contact after contact there. State College sent every defender they had at him, but he kept fighting forward. Good enough for the first down. That's the kind of will that you need to itch yourself back into a game like this where you're trailing by a good amount.
Solich back in. Again to Nix. Gain of 3. 2nd down and 7. Clock ticking. And this drive is taking up enough time that theoretically, if they do score, State High would not necessarily have a chance to respond before halftime.
And Carlisle does get the ball back at halftime, which you can get a little 2-for-1 opportunity there. It would be huge if they were able to score here, then punch another one in to start out the second half.
Nix once again to the run. Picks up a couple. 3rd down and 5 after the 2-yard run.
Tyson Brennan in there on the tackle. He's one of the leaders for the State College defense. He has now 17 tackles on the year.
3rd and 5. Interesting play call for the visitors. From here would be a 50-yard field goal. We saw them bring out Richwine to attempt a 41-yarder, which was blocked. Now trailing by 21. You need to put up some points. And we'll see which side jump first. Offside's 5 yards. Should be enough to move the chains.
It's going to be very close. We'll see what happens. Yep.
First down and 10, and probably the most sustained drive that we've seen from Carlisle today. They started with it at their own 25, currently at the State High 28.
We saw them get to this territory earlier, but then they had the kick blocked in the last drive.
Solich with a hole, and he's taken out. Quickly closed up, clock approaching 2 minutes in the first half. Thunder and Curd showing that they're fine just sticking to their ground game, which has been what's worked for them today and throughout the season.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So far, Solich has been good. Nix has added some as well.
They trail by 21, under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Solich through a hole and carries to pick up the first down. Down to the 14-yard line. Continuing to march down.
Carlisle now in the territory of Richwine. This wouldn't be a chip shot for him, but it's definitely within his reach. But the priority right now is you want to punch it in the end zone heading into the halftime with just over a minute and a half left to play here.
One timeout remains for both sides. First down and 10 from the 14. Solich up inside the 10. 5-yard run, and there is the timeout. Brennan on the tackle. Very important drive for Carlisle. As you mentioned, Cooper, the Herd do get the ball to start off the second half. So if they put the ball in the end zone here, have a chance after halftime to make it a one-score game. And we look at the scoreboard, you may say this has been pretty lopsided, but it really hasn't been. It's just been Keeton Ellis showing up Carlisle.
It doesn't really feel like a blowout. There's just been three big plays and then a sustained drive by State College that ended with Keeton Ellis going a slant over the middle and getting a touchdown. But other than that, it's been pretty even. Obviously, the big plays are going to hurt you, but Carlisle is in this game still. It really doesn't have the feel of a blowout like this one is out of hand, especially with them really knocking on the door here late in the first half.
9 yards away from pay dirt on a 2nd down and 6. A minute 20 to go for Carlisle to trail at 28-7. Their score came at a 54-yard run by Solich. A 6'1", 185 junior. Oliver again under center. 2nd and 6. And Solich slipped up.
Carlisle's going to have to be really careful here with no timeouts left. Time management is going to be absolutely huge.
They're moving quickly. 3rd down and 3. The State High 8-yard line. Under 1 minute to go. The row. Towards the end zone, knocked away. Keeton Ellis in coverage. Now the pass intended for Dane Grays. 4th down and 3.
In my opinion, if I'm the head coach, Coach Ikas for this team, I would go for it. You're on the road. You're down big. I would try to punch it in the end zone here, but it looks like they're going to send out the kicking unit.
It'll be the 2nd attempted field goal by Caleb Richwine of the night. First one was blocked. However, that one was from 41. This is from 25. To make it an 18-point ball game with 52 seconds left in the first. Nix's holds. Kick is through for Caleb Richwine. 28-10. State High still on top, but a very impressive drive by Carlisle. It also took up about 5 minutes.
The State College is going to get the ball back here with just under a minute of play. It's going to be a judgment call by Coach Lintel here. If he wants to maybe take a shot downfield, I don't see why not. Or he could knee it and go into the half leading 28-10. We'll see what they decide to do here.
That's still a 3-score ball game. Either way, well, if they don't score, it's a 3-score game. If they score a touchdown, obviously more so than that. State High, they've had the big plays tonight. They've had the big plays throughout the season. So, like you said, Cooper, might not be a bad idea to take a shot. You're averaging coming into this game 19 yards per completion and about 8 yards per carry. It's a big play offense.
Definitely, and Coach Lintel does have a lot of plays deep in that playbook for scenarios just like this, limited time where you can kind of catch the defense sleeping. So I wouldn't doubt it if there's a very aggressive approach here over the next 47 seconds for the State College offense.
Richwine on to kick after converting it a 25-yard field goal. Cohen Russell back deep to field the kickoff. His State High side leading 28-10. 47 seconds remain in the second quarter. Couple 3-0 sides going at it here at Memorial Fields. Strong kick from Richwine. There's a reason why he has an offer from Bucknell, an FCS program. A bunch of touchbacks and kickoffs, and he converts on the 25-yard field goal.
He's been 3 for 3 tonight, all touchbacks on the kickoffs, and very impressive. And that kick that we just saw, the 3 points put up on the board by Richwine, that one was way through. That would have been good. I don't know about 40, 45, but that would have been good if you backed it up a good amount more.
And Coach Ikas did send him out earlier for a 41-yard field goal, so you have to figure his coaching staff has faith in him from 40+. And now we'll see the State High offense leading by 18. Keeton Ellis lining up in the slot. Cohen Russell in the slot, excuse me. Lions to the air. And Russell adjusts to make the grab out of bounds to stop the clock at the 40, moves the chains. 42 seconds remaining.
And you're going to want to have a lot of guys in coverage in the flats if you're Carlisle here. That's where State College is going to go, so their guys can get out of bounds and stop the clock, just like that play that we just saw. Great awareness from Russell as well to step out of bounds and stop the clock.
19 yards on the completion. Freiberg again to throw. And it's dropped by the tight end Bullock. 2nd and 10. Clock stopped at 37 seconds.
Looked like Bullock tried to run before he caught that one. He got a little excited, had some open field in front of him, but he dropped it before he was able to bring it in. You got to bring it in first and then survey the field and pick your route.
James Pone again down for State High. Was injured in the first quarter, sat out for a little bit, then came back in, the starting left tackle. 37 seconds to go in the second quarter. 28-10, State High leading. Take a quick break here on CNET. And welcome back into Memorial Field. John Gross alongside Cooper Deck. State High leading by 18, looking to add to that just before halftime. Carlisle does get the ball to start the second half. Second down and 10 after the incompletion of the drop pass by Bullock. Freiberg pressured. And it out of the hands of Dorner on a comeback throw, 3rd and 10.
That's a very, very difficult pass to throw because you're anticipating him going back where he's changing speeds. But Dorner lost his footing as he made that cut back to the far side of the field near the Carlisle sideline, and he was unable to bring it in. It was still a good throw. It actually hit Dorner when he was still on the ground. A very accurate throw by Freiberg, but a very difficult one at that as well.
3rd and 10. State High with it at their own 39, 33 seconds to go. Swing pass out to Green. Green looking to move the chains, and he will. Dresden Green across the 40. Shoved out of bounds to stop the clock.
Green all over the field there. He was in the middle of the hash marks, broke it out to outside the numbers on the far side, and he got a big gain on the play, a big play for State College. Clock now 24 seconds, and State College now has a shot to punch one in heading into halftime.
28-yard gain. 24 seconds to go in this second quarter. Again, pressure. Freiberg. And Russell wasn't turned around to it just yet.
Freiberg was facing a lot of pressure in the pocket. He was backpedaling, and he just tried to get rid of it there. And that's a good call by him, but Russell, like you said, John, wasn't even turned or ready for that one. Nonetheless, clock does start. You only burned 3 seconds on that play.
Carlisle bringing the heat on this drive, pressuring Freiberg, which does open up some matchups downfield. 2nd and 10. 21 seconds remaining. State High up by 18. Lofted for Russell. Cohen Russell. Touchdown, State High, 33 yards. Freiberg, his 4th touchdown toss of this first half, puts State College up 34-10.
I've seen Tommy Freiberg make a lot of good throws in his day, but that is the best one that I have seen coming towards us, towards the near side, going against his body, and had to throw in a very, very small window to Russell, who only had about 4 to 5 feet to work with near the sideline. A great catch by Russell as well, but the throw by Freiberg was just absolutely beautiful.
Somebody other than Keeton Ellis getting State High in the scoreboard. Extra point from Cameron Fro. It's at 35-10 with 15 seconds to go. And the speed of Keeton Ellis and the speed of Cohen Russell, who just had that 33-yard touchdown catch, that's very difficult to stop if you're facing State High.
They're such a good team. There's so many areas where they can hurt you. You take away the wide receiving core, Freiberg can step up and throw, he can run, and then you have Isaiah Edwards, a great running back who's not playing tonight, and then you have Drazen Green, who's just a great backup running back as well. So there's so many options that this State College offense has, and then when they're off the field, the defense is very good too. So a very difficult team to beat here in State College, and a great way to respond. They got the ball with 47 seconds, and they were able to march down and score now with 15 seconds left in the half.
State College wide receivers coached by former Penn State Nittany Lion Joe Nastasi. A fine job with that unit, who lost Brandon Clark to graduation last year. Clark now a walk-on wide receiver at Penn State. 15 seconds remaining in the first half. Little Lions lead 35-10 over Carlisle. Ravenel back deep. He's had 2 returns, got him out to the 20 and 25 respectively. And a short kick. Bounces to Nix, and he can't hang on. It's Keeton Ellis scooping it up. And the Lions will have the ball.
Looked like the referee called him out of bounds. I never saw him. Was it close? I didn't see him step out of bounds there. Nonetheless, referee has a better view of that.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been a dead ball because it was touched on the kickoff and then recovered. Nonetheless, good field position, 10 seconds to go, and what we assume to be the halftime score, 35-10, could be up. 10 seconds, 22 yards away. Freiburg has 4 touchdown passes in this first half. Looking for Ellis. Good coverage by Curtis Ravenel. Second down with 6 seconds to go. Do you take another shot here or bring it the field goal unit?
Yeah, you probably have, with 6 seconds, you got to make a quick throw downfield. You don't want to have it tick off and not give your kicker an opportunity to knock one in here. Right now, it would be about a 38-yarder. It'd be a very deep field goal for Renfrew.
Last play took 4 seconds. 6 seconds remain of the clock. And a flag on the play. Encroachment on Carlisle. So that'll help State High, especially if they don't score here, making the field goal a little bit closer for Cam Renfro. Second down and 5 from the Carlisle 17. Lions up by 25, a chance to add to their lead. Ellis through his hands. And again, Ravenel in coverage.
Looked like there was a lot of contact on that throw before Ellis was able to get to it. Nonetheless, no flag thrown as there are 2 seconds left, and the field goal unit now heading out for State College.
You have to give Curtis Ravenel a lot of credit. A couple good defensive plays against Keeton Ellis, who's been lights out in this first half. 4 total touchdowns for him as Cam Renfro steps on for the field goal. Currently 0 for 2 on field goals this season, was 2 for 3 last year. This one's from 34. Siders holds, kick is no good.
Had the leg, but it was just a bit left. That was a powerful kick by Renfrew. Give him credit, but he just got to straighten that one out a little bit. But that's it for the first half here.
35-10. After the first 2 quarters in Cooper, there's one guy that's obviously really stuck out in this one. Keeton Ellis, 4 total touchdowns through that first half. Such a dynamic playmaker, and he's really been the difference in tonight's matchup.
It really has been, and we were talking about how the game really didn't feel like a blowout early on, just because there have been 3 or 4 big plays, all of which came from Ellis, but it just shows how special and versatile of a player he is. Coach Franklin is really getting a talented hard worker when he approaches campus and plays for Penn State this upcoming season.
You have to give a lot of credit to Tommy Freiburg as well. 4 touchdown tosses in that first half, including a very impressive 33-yard throw rolling out to his weak side on the run. Puts it right of the money to Cohen Russell. And for Carlisle, Tristan Solich, he's had himself a very impressive first half of play, but other than that, not much going for him offensively or defensively.
Yeah, Solich had a great, was the only bright spot for this Thundering Herd team. He had the only touchdown, and then Rich Wine added a deep field goal to close out the half for Carlisle. I said it once, I'll say it again. Somebody else has to step up. We've only been calling Solich's name all night. One guy can't beat a very talented State College high school football team, but those adjustments are obviously going to be made heading into the half.
To the first half of play, State College leading Carlisle 35-10 as the marching bands will take the field here at Memorial Field. Stay tuned. We'll be back after halftime. You're watching State High football on CNET.
first selection is the opener from the band musical show. Debuting on Broadway in 1988, this Andrew Lloyd Webber musical has grossed over $5.6 billion to date, making it one of the most successful musicals of all time. Here is Phantom of the Opera.
An offensive explosion in the first half for State High puts them on top 35-10 here at Memorial Field. John Gross alongside Cooper Deck. And Cooper, we mentioned it before the halftime break. We have to talk about it again. But Keeton Ellis, 4 touchdowns in that first half, 3 touchdown receptions, and then scoop and score on a blocked field goal.
Absolutely huge. It's really been the Keeton Ellis story tonight. That's what it's come down to. There's been other contributions from Tommy Freiberg, from Drajan Green, but when it comes down to it, this game wouldn't be as lopsided as it was without a player like Keeton Ellis.
Carlisle trailing by 25. Still time for them to mount a comeback. What adjustments do you think they should make coming out of the locker room?
I think they really have to push the envelope. They got to take some risks. They were very conservative in the first half. A lot of runs, not so many trick plays, getting it to the outside. A lot of run options up the middle. They got to take shots downfield if they want to exploit this very dangerous State College defense.
State College up by 25. If they continue to keep their foot on the gas pedal, keep things rolling, do you expect them to keep trying to score or play a little bit more conservative, run the clock a little bit?
For them, it's a great opportunity to get players that really don't see the field in too often, and it's a circumstance that we've seen a lot here with State College because they're such a good team. They're always up over these teams, and bench players get in. The guys that are working hard during practice get some field time, and they get some experience too. But I think you really have to pad yourself a lot here because Carlisle's a pretty good team. They're undefeated. They're 3-0, so you got to give yourself some comfort, a buffer zone, I guess you can say. If you get to this amount of points, then we put the subs in. But Coach Lintel's been doing this a long time. He knows how to deal with that.
Couple undefeated records on the line here at Memorial Field. State College and Carlisle, second half action. Right after this, stick with us.
Thursday the 20th, they are away against Altoona at 3:30 p.m. And finally, Mount
Just about set for the second half here from Memorial Field. John Gross alongside Cooper Deck. State College leading 35-10 over the Carlisle Thundering Herd. Now the Herd do get the ball here to start things off in this third quarter. Plenty of time, 24 minutes for them to mount a comeback, trailing by 25. It's an offense that has, for the most part, had some difficulties. They've ran the ball well with Solich through the air, not much success. And trailing by 25, you figure the aerial attack might be the best bet to get some quick scores.
Not only does it expand the field, make State College think a little bit, it also stops the clock. It's something that you got to do here if you are Carlisle. We didn't see a lot of it in the first half. They got to make that adjustment coming out in the second half. And this first drive right here is huge. They got to establish themselves and get some points on the board.
Ravenel back deep to receive. Short kick fielded at the 17. Curtis Ravenel had a seam out to the 36-yard line, tackled by Grayson Green. Good field position for Carlisle to start things off. And it was Tristan Solich in that first half. Had a 54-yard touchdown run, his second touchdown run of 50 or more yards on the season. And the lone touchdown for Carlisle, but rough start for Cole Wallivar. Had some success running the ball, but through the air. Couldn't get much separation with his receivers.
And this Carlisle team does have some athletes. We've seen it with Green, Solich, a few others as well. It's just a matter of them executing the plays.
There goes Solich. Pickup of 2 yards. Been the Bell offense tonight and throughout the season. Carlisle coming in 3-0 with a 46-7 win week 1. Then in second week a 10-6 game, and last week 35-7 victory over Southwestern. And in the second quarter, that was a game that Carlisle led 28-0. And for the game in general, their defense was able to hold Southwestern to negative rushing yards, only 113 yards total. It's a defense that's been pretty solid. We'll see if the offense can pick things up. And a quick slant completion to move the chains. First down. Tyler Vivian on the receiving end of the dart from Wallivar.
That's exactly what we said has to happen here. You got to expand your playbook, run some different plays. That's what Central Dauphin did right there. So they pick up a first down, and they stop the clock for a little bit as the chains move. You got to change things up here instead of just that straight option.
11 minutes to go in the third. 35-10 State College leading. Just shy of midfield. Solich wrestled down by a couple defenders. Tyson Brennan then on the stop, got some help.
Tyson Brennan among Addison Darcy as well, 6'3", 260 pounds. Does play O-line as well, and obviously also on the D-line right here. And give credit, these guys we never really call their name that much as the guys, the quarterbacks, the running backs, but they're working hard every single play.
Vivian remains in the game at wide receiver. Didn't see much action in the first half. Nix goes up the gut. The primary receivers in that first half for Carlisle were Curtis Ravenel, who is still in the game, and Dane Grays. But Vivian has one catch thus far on this drive.
By not even trying to attempt a play that takes a shot downfield, it takes away that option. It takes away the option for State College to go back. So they know that there's not really going to be any deep passes. They can stay in tight and really get some pressure on the quarterback. That's where I think a lot of the problems tonight are stemming from.
Yeah, State High safeties playing within 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. Another quick give to Nix. Be close to the spot. And Ben Nix marked just short. Fourth down and less than a yard.
And this is a big one. If they're able to convert here, keep the drive going, that'd be huge. But State College, if they're able to stop them here, get the ball back, who knows what will happen next.
4th and 1, 9 minutes to go. Carlisle trailing by 25, trying to kickstart a comeback. Quarterback keeper, more than enough to pick up the first.
And that's all you need there. Trust your big guys up front to just get you a few inches, dive forward. That's what happened right there. So first down for this Carlisle team.
Clock under 9 minutes to go in the third. Solich dragged down from behind. Gets to the 34, pickup of 7, second down and 3.
Kyle D'Amico in on the tackle once again. He's been all over the field tonight on the defensive end, making up for the absence of Titus Thompson. And this quarter already has been moving very, very quickly. I don't think the clock has stopped yet. Very different from the first half, where it was a very long first quarter.
Now State College got the ball to start things off in the first quarter. Before their first offensive play even happened, they used a timeout. Then another timeout later in the drive, a couple of penalties as well.
It was a 40-minute first quarter.
Yeah.
It just kept dragging on, and it was very close throughout that time. It was kind of a tale of two quarters in the first half. It was close in the first quarter. The second quarter is where the big plays were made. Blocked punt, blocked field goal, where State College was able to convert and turn it into 6.
And this game was tied at 7-7 after a Tristan Solich 45-yard touchdown run. But since then, 28-3, State College outscoring the visitors. Third down and 1. Nix gets it. Didn't really go anywhere. Left to go for it, potentially go for it again on 4th. They're 1 for 1 of this drive. Last time around, capped it with Walavar under center.
Pretty much a parallel situation here. It was probably 4th and 1 before they picked up the first down before this, and now it's 4th and 1 now. It really comes down to whoever wins the battle up front in the trenches. Whoever gets that push, if you're running up the middle, usually comes out on top.
5 seconds to snap it on the play clock. Game clock under 7 minutes in the third. Lowering the shoulder, pushing the pile and moving the chains is Tristan Solich. And not only are all these carries putting a lot of a burden onto Solich, but this State High front 7, this is a physical battle right now in the trenches.
It really is. It's been a great battle to watch all night. It's been a good matchup overall, but this is a very, very long drive already for Carlisle. They got to have a sense of urgency here already, just under halfway through the third quarter.
Solich stood up at the line of scrimmage. Keeton Ellis making plays on offense, special teams as an interception. And then a stop at the line of scrimmage coming from the quarterback position.
I feel like this is going to be a game that he always remembers, because there's not many games like this for anyone, let alone Keeton Ellis, one of the most talented players, at least tonight, the most talented player on the field, a Penn State commit. And he's also a basketball player as well. So a multi-sport athlete here at State College Area High School.
Ellis, 4 total touchdowns in that first half. Making plays on defense as well. Walavar, a rare throw. Finds Ravenel streaking down the sideline. Good chuck yardage from Carlisle.
That was the first difficult throw that I've seen Walavar make all night. A beautiful out route going towards the far side, right over the shoulder. He brought it in, ran down the sideline, and give credit to Carlisle coming out and working their way back into this game. They haven't scored yet, but this has been a very good drive. Just a lot of medium plays chunked together to create a very good drive now in the red zone.
14 yards away from a touchdown, trailing by 25 are the Thundering Herd. Short carry towards the 12. Solich once again. Solich, D'Amico, it's been those two going back and forth when Carlisle has the football. Second down and 8. 5:20 to go in the third quarter. This drive has taken up more than half of this quarter. Walavar. Incomplete, a low throw. The intended receiver, Tyler Vivian, does have one catch on this drive.
State College sent Cohen Russell, a cornerback blitz from the far side, in on that one. And as the quarterback threw there for Carlisle, he jumped up and took away the passage to his receiver. So that was a nearly impossible play to make. And they dropped down the linebacker into coverage against that specific wideout.
Tom Bucha shaded over as well defensively. Sets up a 3rd down and 8, 12 yards away from the end zone. Clock stopped 5:08 into the 3rd. Walivar on the run. End zone. Barks just short of the pylon. Moves the chains. 1st down and goal from the 1-yard line. Looked like Nick's on the receiving end.
There have been a lot of plays in this drive, and it's hard to sustain this over this amount of time with your offensive line going play after play after play. They got to be tired right now.
Trailing by 25. Walivar up the gut. Touchdown, Carlisle. An opening drive in this second half that ends with 6, possibly 7 on a 1-yard quarterback keeper for Cole Walivar.
Walivar just got behind his big guys up front and just got enough room, barely enough, to dive over the goal line. And now Carlisle, a great drive put together, but at the same token, they did tick off more than half of this quarter. State College likely will stick to the ground game so they can take some time off this clock.
Rich Wine nails it through the uprights. 35-17. It's an 18-point game. Remains a 3-score ball game. And as you mentioned, Cooper, a drive like that, it won't necessarily get you into the game at the later stages. You have 4:41 to go in this quarter, 12 minutes in the 4th, so about 17 minutes to go to make up an 18-point deficit. And that's assuming that your defense can stop this very high-powered State College offense.
And that's assuming a lot. That's a lot, but nonetheless, you got to be happy if you are Carlisle, making those second half adjustments, coming out, and what we talked about at halftime, you know, being a little bit more aggressive, throwing the ball a little bit more. That's exactly what they did coming out in the second half. We saw about a 15-yard throw to put them in scoring position, just about 1 yard out of the goal line, and then the quarterback keeper just diving right in, right over his center. So a great drive put together. They changed their approach. There was a lot more passing. I bet we'll see them stay with that as well. For State College, I would definitely anticipate them running the ball a lot.
Injured little line of the field. 4:41 to go in the 3rd. State High leads 35-17. Addison Darcy at Olympia to get up. Darcy, a lineman, also a punter. State High lost Brandon Clark, who we spoke about earlier, is an elite wide receiver now at Penn State. Clark was also their punter, so you have Darcy as a lineman, something that you don't see very often, a lineman booting some kicks deep.
Definitely, if it works, why not? I mean, Brandon Clark, a wide receiver, if you're a defensive lineman, you can kick it. Why not do it? And Cam Renfrew supplies the kickoffs and the field goals, but obviously you need someone to punt the ball as well.
35-17 with 4:41 to go in the 3rd. Carlisle making this one a little more interesting, trailing by 18. Hoping their defense can pull off a stop against this high-powered State College attack. Strong kick. Russell retreats. And it's another touchback. Rich Wine has yet to allow a return from Cohen Russell.
And that's such a weapon that a lot of people overlook. If you have a kicker that can really pin the team back by kicking a touchback every single time, especially in high school football, it is such an asset to have because not every team has it. And Rich Wine's done a great job tonight, not only kicking off, but also converting on a deep field goal attempt too.
So after a 7+ minute drive to start off the second half by Carlisle, the State High offense will take the fields. Green. Short yardage.
Big hit there from Curtis Ravenel, one of the senior captains for this Carlisle football team, amongst other Carlisle defenders. A gain of 4 on the play with 4:19 and counting left to go here.
St. I leading by 18, not necessarily in a rush. As Isaiah Edwards gets his first carry.
First run of the night for Edwards. He's usually the go-to guy in the running back slot. But Trajan Green has been the go-to guy tonight in the backfield. First appearance thus far for Edwards, who's had a great season so far. Comes with just over 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Edwards came into the game 26 carries, 180 yards, and a team-high 5 rushing touchdowns. As the running back will remain in there. 3rd and 4 from the state-high 26. Russell in motion. Freiberg flushed out of the pocket. Move the chains and a spin. Tommy Freiberg.
What a run there by the senior. He almost, if he spun a little bit earlier, he likely would have some open field in front of him. Maybe would have been 6, but he made some men miss there. Got around the defenders once the pocket broke down, and he's able to pick up a first down for his team.
Pickup of 12. First and 10, Lions up 35-17. Under 3 minutes to go in the third. Russell around the edge, nothing there. Ben Nix. And the stop got some help from Jeremiah Carruthers.
Usually when that play is run, it's run going to the wide side of the field, but that time they sent Russell from the wide side to the short side, and it was not very successful. He didn't have much room to work with. The more room Russell has, the more successful he is, because he's just so quick in and out of his cuts.
No gain of the run, 2nd and 10. Ellis, quick turnarounds. Dangerous tonight with the ball. Spins out of 1 tackle. Keeton Ellis has 4 TDs already. En route to number 5.
I can't believe what I'm watching right now. This is the definition of domination. And a great throw by Tommy Freiberg as well. Threw it before Ellis even turned on the out route, so they were on the same page communication-wise. It looks like he may have hurt himself, as he has 2 of his players, Cohen Russell and one other teammate, helping him off the field. Hopefully he's okay.
52-yard catch and run by Keeton Ellis. That's his 5th touchdown of the game, 4th receiving grab. TD pass number 6 for Tommy Freiberg. And Ellis, limping onto the state high sideline. Cam Renfro converts on his 6th extra point of the night. State High up 42-17. 2:09 to go in the third. Keeton Ellis puts up his 5th touchdown of the night. Currently being tended to on the state high sideline, something that we will monitor throughout the rest of the night. 2:09 to go in the third quarter, and Carlisle, who marched downfield last possession and put 7 on the board, look to do that once again. Ravenel backtracking at his 2. Showing off some shiftiness. Shoots Cohen Russell Gets to the 25.
Ryan Frank's in on the tackle, and Russell's usually on the other end of that equation. He's the one juking the defenders, but he just got juked right there. But a good run there by the returner for Carlisle. Pretty much a de facto touchback. Ball set at the 25 now. And Carlisle, if they want to be in this game right now, if they want to make some noise, they're going to have to take even more risks than they already are. A conservative approach in the first half, more aggressive the first drive, but with only 2 minutes left to play here in the third quarter, you got to up it up. You got to up it a little bit more.
Field possession for Carlisle, not necessarily ideal tonight. They've had a couple drives that have started near midfield. Solich nowhere to go. About a half-yard carry. 42-17, State College leading here. 1:45 to go, clock ticking in the third.
Going back to that run from Ellis, it didn't really look like he injured himself. We didn't even notice it until he was coming off the field. So maybe it's muscular, maybe he just kind of, pinched something, but hopefully he's okay. The last thing you want is one of your senior leaders on this team to get hurt in the third game of the year.
Good throw on the outside edge. Move the chains on the catch and run by Jamari Brown. Walliver starting to come alive a bit in the second half. He's had a few of those throws towards the far sideline.
Great coverage by Sammy Knipe as well, able to get him out. But what Carlisle is doing is they're running kind of a pick play where they cross their receivers and then they leave one out in the flats, which is usually open. That's the two biggest gains we've seen in the air tonight for Carlisle is when they run that play.
Dressing green in that corner with Keeton Ellis still on the sideline. 1st and 10 after the 11-yard completion. Solich up to the 45, pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. A perfect night for football in State College. We saw some drizzles earlier, and there were concerns because there's been so much rain in central Pennsylvania over the last week or so.
It did cool down as well. It was very humid around kickoff time, but it's cooled down nicely. Your textbook Friday Night Lights football matchup is what you're seeing here in State College, Pennsylvania tonight.
20 seconds to go in this third quarter. Temperature currently at 72 degrees. Solich on a late handoff. Pushes the pile to midfield. Another first down carry for him. And that's been the thing. When you run an offense like they do, focus on those inside handoffs, some options. You'll mix the spread in there as well. You have to be able to play ahead of the sticks. And when they're getting those 5-6 yard runs and first down, they've put together some solid drives.
They really have, but at the same time, they take so long. When you're in a situation like this, you really got to make something happen, throw the ball downfield. But nonetheless, great drives. The last one, and right now this one's going well for them as well. State College needs to find a way to buckle down and stop the running game from Carlisle.
Through 3, it's 42-17. State College still a commanding 25-point advantage. As we'll take a quick break here on CNET. You're watching high school football here from Memorial Fields. Twelve minutes to go between State College and The Carlisle Thundering Herd, John Gross and Cooper Deck here on CNET. State High up 42-17. Oliver goes under center. And Solich swallowed up for a loss of a yard.
Brady Turner right in the backfield there. They sent him into blitz, and he timed it perfectly. Kind of jumped over the line and met the running back right in there. And a great play, great anticipation there by the linebacker, who's also had an impact in the wideout position on the offensive side of the ball tonight.
Second down at 11 after the run for a loss by Solich. Memorial Field's one of the nicer high school venues in the state of Pennsylvania and really in the region of the Northeast.
Absolutely beautiful.
Walliver, tunnel screen, incomplete. Just a bit high for Dane Graves. Third down at 11. Yeah, you have fans on both sidelines, and then in the end zone, the north end zone, fans watching back there. You have the food trucks.
Did you have food trucks at your high school football games?
I did not.
I did not.
No.
That would have been a great addition.
Yeah.
I think one of the big stories of this game, though, is the injuries. We haven't seen much from Isaiah Edwards. Keeton Ellis just injured. We're waiting to see what happens to him. And then James Pone, the offensive lineman, was hurt early on, and he hasn't returned yet.
Yeah, Pone came in for a bit, got re-injured, came back out, so we'll see if he stays in there. A low throw is caught by Dix, but there is a flag in the backfield.
Most likely, if I had to guess, this is going to be a holding call.
There you go. Cooper Deck 1 for 1 on his penalty calls tonight.
That really hurts you, though. A positive play there by Carlisle, but comes back again. Penalties are absolutely huge, and I talked about it earlier. Coaches just, yeah, you hate to have that happen, especially offsides, false starts, because they're totally preventable. They're mental mistakes. Of course, there's physical mistakes that happen throughout the game, but those happen. Sometimes the game comes at you too fast, but mental mistakes, you should always be thinking ahead right now, and when you don't, that's what the result is, a penalty.
And what was the third down at 11, the completion to Nix would have gotten them to about 4th and 2. Very manageable situation. Now Carlisle backed up for a third down and 24. 11 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. 42-17, State College leading. Walliver pressured up the middle. Gets rid of it. Solich, with his first catch of the game, levels out of bounds.
That was a good scramble by Walliver. I don't know how he got out of that. State College sent 2 of their linebackers in on a blitz, and then he found his running back and Solich out in the flat area, but even though they had a pretty positive gain on the play, it's nowhere near enough for a first down.
Up to the 37-yard line. Owen Hacker to send it away. Gets this punt off. Good hang time and a spiraling kick. Greenfield to the 28. Dresden Green. Upended at midfield. Ball came loose, but he was down before the fumble. So State College will have it at midfield. 10:09 to go.
The thing about this State College team that makes them so good is their depth. You have a guy like Keeton Ellis who gets hurt, has to come out for a few plays, no problem. Cohen Russell, Drazen Green step in. Isaiah Edwards, haven't really seen a lot from him today, whether it be injury or whatever other factor is preventing him from playing. You have Drazen Green stepping up and doing a great job. You have an athlete in Brady Turner, who has experience at quarterback and at the wideout position. So there's so many options that Coach Lentel has at his disposal that makes this team so successful.
And we'll see Edwards here. He's been the primary back in the second half, which has only amounted to, prior to this drive, 1 State High possession. Carlisle chewing up the clock here in the second half. Russell in motion. Edwards on the carry. Isaiah Edwards dancing inside the 25. Still on his feet. Isaiah Edwards. Touchdown, State College, 50 yards to the house.
That's the textbook Isaiah Edwards run right there. Break through a few tacklers, make one man miss, and then get out into a foot race. And by that time, it's too late because he has that speed to just break away from the secondary. Isaiah Edwards, just a few plays, but he gets 6.
48-17, State College leads at 9:56 to go. The first rushing touchdown of the game for State High comes from Isaiah Edwards, his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. That's the most rushing scores out of any State College player on the year. Ranks one for 50 yards, couple late additions to the field goal unit. Kevin Kersinger on to holds. Normal holder Jaden Sider had been in earlier in the game. Zach Betts on for the snap. Flag before the kick. And it's encroachment on Carlisle. Move State High a little bit closer. And Fro will tee it up once again. (49-17). Renfro 7 for 7 at extra points. He had been 11 for 14 coming in, and something that Coach Lintel mentioned to us earlier this week, that he really wanted to key in on his team's special teams performance. Between the 7 for 7 extra points, the block punt, the block kick that ends up going back for a touchdown, I think he probably has to be pretty pleased with how his team has performed.
Oh, he's got to be proud, and that's something that as a coach you love to see pay off. Sometimes you'll work on something with your team the entire week, and then it won't translate into the game itself just because the lights are on, everyone's here, it's a different environment. But State College has exceeded Coach Lintel's expectations, I would think, heading into this game. Like you said, a blocked punt, blocked field goal, amongst other things. A stellar performance so far from State College on the special teams, and I think that's really been the difference maker so far, in addition to the performance of Keeton Ellis.
Renfro will send it away. Curtis Ravenel back deep. Ravenel, he showed off some moves today in special teams and on offense. Got a couple of touches. One of a few guys who, they may be down by 32, but the Thunder and Kurt, they've had some talented players out there. Obviously Solich, Ravenel, the defensive side of things, Green. Another fumble recovery for him. Had some big tackles earlier in the game. As the kickoff is whistled dead. And a little kicking procedure on State College. I'll back things up 5 yards. 49-17, State High was up 35-10 after one half. And in this second, it's been 14-7 State College. Couple 3-0 sides going at it. Their conference opener, Mid-Penn Commonwealth. Our last year, State High finished tied for second behind Harrisburg, led by current Penn State linebacker Micah Parsons. A very talented Harrisburg team last year who lost quite a few players, and now State High very much in contention for being the best team in the conference. And a touchback. Ravenel couldn't hang on to it.
The approach here for Carlisle is, while this game as of right now, it's pretty much out of reach at this point. You just got to go out there and keep doing what you're doing and prove as much as you can. It doesn't matter that you're losing by 32. You just got to go out there with the same mindset and try to improve and maybe get some guys in there that haven't played too much so they can learn for years coming.
And they go 3-0 in the non-conference. Right now trailing by 32 in their conference opener. But you figure 6 wins could put them in contention for a playoff spot. So they just have to get 3 more and could be knocking on the doorstep of their first playoff appearance since 2014, 2015. But again, Solich, a 3-yard run. Clock ticking under 9:30 to go. A 2nd down and 7 from the Thundering Herd's own 23. 49-17 the score. Oliver and this Carlisle offense been a little bit more aggressive in the second half. Give around the edge. Cam Green jumped out of bounds. Loss of 2 on the run. Nastasi on the tackle.
Yeah, that was a great tackle by Nastasi. He almost lost him, but he was able to bring him back in, holding on with just a few fingers, and brought him down for a loss on the play. A great play there by the defensive lineman.
And Joe Nastasi's dad, Joe Nastasi Sr., former Penn State football player, current wide receivers coach for State College. So the State College program, they've produced their fair share of Penn State players. Keeton Ellis will be the next one. He's still on the State High sideline. Walliver, quick throw over the middle, almost picked by Buka.
That was in the hands. I think that was another example. We saw Bullock earlier tried to run before he catch it. He got excited because he was in open field. I think that's exactly what happened right there with Buka.
4th and 8, another punting situation for Carlisle. Had an impressive opening drive in this second half. Marched about 80 yards downfield, predominantly running the football. The first drive of the second half chewed up over 6 minutes, for 7 minutes actually on the game clock to start off the 3rd quarter. Hello snap. Hacker able to send it towards midfield. And the first touch of the day for Loki Howell. The punt return put State College solid field position at the 24.
So this is probably the point where we're going to see the guys that we've been calling all night, the names that you guys have heard all night coming out of the game. And we just saw right there with Howell coming in. He hasn't made an appearance so far, so this might be the point where State College sends out their 2nd and 3rd unit.
Freiberg not in there. St. High will send out their reserve players. Isaiah Edwards, after that 50-yard touchdown run, stays in the game at halfback. Green in the slot. Give to Edwards. Somehow escapes, and Isaiah Edwards, he's fired up, puts State High up 55-17. A 25-yard touchdown run turned nothing into something.
Isaiah Edwards has touched the ball 3 times tonight. 2 of those times have been touchdowns. A great performance on very limited opportunity here in the second half. And State College just running away with this one at this point. 55-17, just under 8 to play.
Renfro perfect on the night. 9 extra points. And he stays that way, 56-17 after Isaiah Edwards goes 25 yards to the end zone. And a play that seemed like there was nothing going for him at the line of scrimmage, but such a big physical back. He's a change of pace guy from Green. You saw Green, very shifty guy, a little bit undersized. Edwards has that shiftiness, and he certainly has the power, as we saw on that last run.
He's so good, and he's just an expert in getting out of a mob of defenders and finding open field. that was a great example of it right there. Edwards is one of those players that I think has Division I potential. He burst onto the scene last year. No one really knew who he was. He was playing behind Lyons, who graduated, moved on. And he, like I said, Edwards came out of nowhere and had a breakout game, 3 touchdowns, and ever since that he's been the go-to guy for State College.
Yeah, 2017 he averaged about 10 yards per carry, and he's continuing that tonight despite not seeing time in the first half. Comes into the second half and 2 touchdown runs of 25 and 50 yards respectively for the State College running back. 7:56 to go in the fourth. 56-17. State College all over Carlisle. Yeah, another touchback. Carlisle trailing late in the game. It's one of those situations that we've talked about. You want to get your guys in there at this point, out of reach, but you want to still run your stuff because throughout the rest of the season, State High might just be the best team that you face.
Exactly, and looking at next week for this Carlisle team, they're going to play Central Dauphin at home, who they're 2-1 right now. They're playing Cumberland Valley. Cumberland Valley last place in the NYPL. In the Mid-Penn Commonwealth this year. So they have a chance to bounce back from this game. But like you said, you just got to go out there and keep doing what you're doing and improve on every play.
Inside give gets a few. State High 21 points in the second half after putting up 35 in the first. Been big plays all night. 5 total touchdowns from Keeton Ellis. 3, 4 as a receiver, and then 1 on a blocked field goal that he ran back for a touchdown. The future Penn State Nittany Lion, accounting for 30 points all by himself. Tommy Freiberg as well. Another big performance for the 6'5" starting quarterback. Shotgun carry up to the 27th. They're down in 3.
And just because Ellis had a phenomenal game, don't let that take away from the efforts of everyone else. Like you mentioned, Tommy Freiberg, Drazen Green, Isaiah Edwards, the guys up front, the big offensive and defensive linemen. This was the definition of a team win. Now you have guys that are grinding out there every single day in practice but never get the shot to see the field when game time comes. They have an opportunity to prove themselves right now.
Connor Logan on that last carry. 3rd and 3. 6 minutes to go. Again to Logan. Bullies his way across the 30. Picks up the first down. On the flip side, Carlisle, Solich seems to be out of the game at this point. Had his fair share of carries tonight, but it's been impressive. A 54-yard touchdown run, a 28-yard rush as well. A guy that this offense is certainly built around, and despite going up against a very formidable State College defense, still did his thing out there.
Yeah, he was really the one bright spot. If you take away one thing for Carlisle, it was his performance tonight at the running back position. He scored a good amount of there. 1 touchdown early on, which kind of halted the momentum of State College and just kept knocking on yards and good runs consistently throughout the game.
Carlisle takes their first timeout of the second half. 5:32 to go in the 4th and final quarter. 56-17. State College on their way to a 4-0 record, a 1-0 clip in conference play. Carlisle, this result will fall to 3-1, 0-1. In Mid-Penn Commonwealth play. So early on in the season, both teams, I'm sure, will take things from this. They'll want to improve, but if you're State College, you have to be pretty thrilled with your performance against an undefeated Carlisle team.
Definitely, and State College is going to advance now to 4-0. Chambersburg currently State College will play next week. They were 3-0 heading into this. Central Dauphin, Altoona, and Harrisburg were all 2-1. Central Dauphin East 1-2. And Cumberland Valley, who was a very good team last year, sits at the bottom of the division at 0-3. So once conference play starts, that's where teams really start to separate themselves. And State College hasn't had the worst start at that.
1st and 10. Walliver rolling out. Catch made by Taylor Herbenstreet. Second and 10. We're seeing both teams get some players' experience, especially if you figure in these situations. A lot of these guys last year were playing JV football. Now they're up at the varsity level. The speed just between the two levels is a pretty big difference. So it's important. Might only be 5 minutes, but it still goes a long way for both sides to get some of their younger and more inexperienced players in there.
The speed is the biggest adjustment, in my opinion, jumping from the JV level to the varsity level.
Ball's loose. Logan on the carry. Ball sticks with Carlisle. Third down and 4 yards from the 36-yard line. Four minutes to go in the fourth. 56-17 State College. Again to Logan. Not enough. Makes his way to the 40. Comes up a yard shy. We'll see what Brett Ikes decides to do. And he'll keep his offense out of the fields.
I like the call. Let these guys play. Let them get their moment and try to make something happen.
Clock ticking, under 3.5 to go in the fourth. Fourth down at a yard. Walliver able to push the pile. First down. And this drive has kind of been reminiscent of what we've seen on the drive for Carlisle throughout the night, especially the ones that have gone well for them. They get to those 3rd and 4th and short situations. They'll power it up the middle, move the chains. They chew up plenty of clock.
Definitely, but you got to also account for incorporating big play calls into your offense too. It helps your momentum. It gets plays on the board very quickly. Tonight, we really haven't seen many of those outside of the run early on from Solich.
Evans tried his second catch of the drive. Into State College territory to the 47. Second down and a yard from the 47. 2:40 to go, clock ticking. Logan up the gut. First down for Carlisle. 56-17, State College leading on their way to a 4-0 record. Their conference opener for both teams.
And the biggest thing coming out of a game like this is not to be complacent. And Coach Lintal is going to tell these guys that, I'm sure. But you blow a team out like this in convincing fashion, you can't be complacent coming back out.
Logan with a bruising run. It's the 47. Connor Logan, plenty of reps in this second half. Between Logan and Solich, these fullbacks can really lower their shoulder and pick up a couple extra and put a hurt on the defense.
Against a team like State College, who's just so athletic, they have a lot of guys around the field. I would have liked to see a little bit wider of a playbook, thicker of a playbook tonight. That we saw the option, we saw a little variation in the pass games, but not so much so for this Carlisle team.
Bit of a shot. Walliver completes it on the run. Robert Lissner to the 25, pickup of 17. First down. Well, they go to the air and find Listener on an intermediate route. 1:15 clock moving.
And when Walliver is throwing the ball, it seems like he's pretty successful. He can hit his targets. It's just a matter of having that play call and throwing deep downfield. We really haven't seen any shots taken deep thus far.
Walliver flushed out. Looking for Listener, finds him once again, 9-yard gain. The Walliver to Listener connection, successful as of late, back-to-back throws and catches. .40 clock moving. 56-17, State College leading. Logan across the 15. First down. Clock stops to move the chains. Now it's moving. .18 seconds, 17-16. Walliver again. Over to Listener, towards the sideline, to the 10. And barring a timeout out of London. Well, we will see a timeout. With 1 second to go.
Okay, they want to get one more play in, maybe score a touchdown, kick a field goal. At this point, you just want to get your team some reps. But with 3 seconds, or 1 second left, excuse me, there's really not much that you can work with. They're just going to get one play in here and see what their team can do.
And you can't blame this Carlisle coaching staff for this decision. Trailing, 39 points here, 56-17. You want to get your guys some reps. Walliver in a first and goal situation, or second and 4 situation from inside the 10-yard line, oftentimes is the toughest spot to make a completion just because of how little space there is.
It is the right call. It would be very different if, say, State College was in this situation. They're up by a lot, and they call a timeout instead of letting the clock tick off. That's very unclassy and disrespectful. But, you know, I respect this coach wanting to get his players some reps who really haven't been on the field too much this year, because you never know. Some guy might go down, and one of these subs out here right now might have to check in.
1 second to go in the fourth. Walliver in the shotgun. And what should be the final play of the game, barring a defensive penalty. A low throw is incomplete. State College, a 56-17 victory over Carlisle as the Little Lions move to 4-0 on the season, pick up their first conference win, their first conference game as well. You beat a good Carlisle side who's 3-0 on the year. What are your biggest takeaways for the State College side of things?
I mean, you can't ignore the effort of Keeton Ellis. We talked about him all night. He was just so successful. Special teams, in the wideout position, whatever it may be, you have a weapon that you can count on night in and week in and week out, both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. And Tommy Freiberg really showed me a lot tonight. We talked to Coach Lintal before this game, and he said that he has really grown as a quarterback, and I could tell. He's making passes, very, very difficult passes that I haven't seen him make before. So this team, the only way to go up is now you got to keep working hard and moving forward.
Keeton Ellis with 5 total touchdowns, 4 on the receiving end, and 1 just great alertness on a blocked field goal, scooping and scoring all the way to the end zone. Freiberg, big day for him, and this defense as well. A physical opponent in Carlisle. They tried to really ram it up the middle, but the front 7 for State College, for the most part, stood tall.
It was really a progressive, slow drives that this Carlisle team put together. Obviously, Coach Lintel is going to want to work on that going forward. But when you're on the field for that long, the fatigue has to kick in at some point. But they did a good job. They restricted the big plays. There was only 1 in the first quarter today from Carlisle. Other than that, you can't really complain about much from the defensive end either.
And for Carlisle, coming into this one, definitely underdogs. They showed some good things out there, some not so great things as well. What are some takeaways in your mind for this Thundering Herd side?
I think Walliver really matured as the game went on. His passing wasn't great early on, and his coach really wasn't giving him the opportunity to sling it out there. But as the game went on, he started to establish himself. He looked a lot more comfortable. He was able to incorporate a play-action pass in there, which gave him more time in the pocket. I liked what I saw from him going down the stretch, especially in the last couple drives here.
State College, a 56-17 victory over Carlisle, moves to 4-0 in the season, 1-0 in conference play. The visiting Thundering Herd, 3-1 on the year, 0-1 in Mid-Penn Commonwealth play. For behind-the-scenes team here, our producer Matt Burns, my broadcast partner Cooper Deck. My name is John Gross. Big thank you for joining us tonight. This has been high school football on CNET.